Hey guys, so this is the current state of the market for booster boxes. Sword and Shield, especially the better sets, let's just ignore kind of the boxes for Vivid Voltage and before. Boxes after are seeing more activity, and either they are crossing new price highs, they're about to, there's increased demand, um, except maybe Lost Origin. That's sort of the trend of Sword and Shields. It's definitely more for people who are doing long term investing and they want to make sure they get in before it's too cheap, or they're hoping for a quick flip. Well, more eventual flip down the line, or more security. And then for Scarlet Violet, it seems like most of the sets, they're just sort of mini sales right now. I'll go over, it kind of varies each one, but that's sort of the overview of the different boxes. Evolving Skies, I said before, like there's a good amount of activity for Evolving Skies. Look at this, there's like 2 days in a row where like three and four boxes sold, and sometimes that's not enough. But yeah, we're still at the 1500 mark, so we've been there before. So this doesn't seem like just a temporary thing, to be honest. You could always go back down later on, but yeah, we crossed to 1500 about a little over a week ago. So before this, Avoidance Guys was literally at 1360. It was very easy to get at like 1360 or even 1320 for a very long time, or even 1270. And then around the 18th, we started going to the high 1400s, still close to 1500, and then we went back down, and we were hovering around 1460, and now we're in more momentum mode because a lot of the boxes that you see are kind of like going away very quickly, and even if you look at sales data, there was even a $1,400 box listed that was bought like immediately. I didn't even have a chance to see it. So that's how fast these things are bought in nowadays. There's definitely more active activity versus before for Evolving Skies. Like there were boxes that were like $1,000, and like people didn't buy them all immediately. But even a $1,400 box, that's an immediate buy versus like before the price wasn't even $1,400 at all. And when we look at here, you see like there's a $1,500 box. One buys that. The listed price over here will convert to 1,600. Because the next non-picture listing is $15.99.99 plus this $9 shipping for Ali CCG. So that's gonna be like the cheapest box. Technically, you can still get this box in between for $15.50. But yeah, that will be like, as far as the listed price, that's gonna be the highest I've ever seen of Evolving Skies. Um, and even on the next page, just look. Yeah, there's only a couple boxes, 1600, 1700. It doesn't mean it's gonna go to 1700 that quickly, but yeah, like there's definitely people just buying up the boxes. Um, like yeah, it's pretty active demand right now, even though it's not actually a lot of boxes. There's just not a lot of Always Guys, or not a lot of people willing to part with it at these lower prices. Um, Fusion Strike, I mentioned before, but yeah, it keeps going up. It's at 15.15 now. I mean, 5.15 now, and yeah, $3 bought yesterday. And yeah, this whole list over here used to be like up to like 500, and Future Strike has a good amount of differentials between the prices. Like I mentioned, Always Guys like has the most extreme differentials because it's such a high price booster box that like $20, $50, $100 becomes more insignificant. Because I said here it quickly goes to 1,700 and the price is only 1,500. Future Strike gets pretty good. There's some 15.15s, and it goes into the 520s, 530s, 540s, 550s, 560s on just the first page. So Future Strike has a good amount of like runway to just keep going up, like in increments of like 5, 10, 15, $20 over time. And like there's not like a huge amount of box listed. Almost all these listings have like one. And then this one has four. Moby's Corner, I've seen them before. They have a good amount of boxes, not like extreme amounts, but they have a good amount of boxes. And this two from T2GPM. So Fusion Strike is also moving up. But yeah, when I look at the price graph, yeah, um, those are some of the major differences. The Volume Sky is down only $10, but if you look at the market activity, it means so much more. And if you strike up about $6 for that. And then Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, and Silver Tempest are seeing activity as well. So let's see. Astral Radiance is a all-time high at 285. Brilliant Stars is about the same, but there's demand things. And then Silver Tempest maintained its 282, which is pretty much the high. It might have been 283, might be the high or something, or 285, but it's pretty much up there. All these boxes are kind of at their pretty much all-time highs, more or less. Um, and yeah, let's let's see, where's Brilliant Stars? So Brilliant Stars has had more activity lately as well. I see 9 bought yesterday and already 6 bought today. And yeah, people are just buying up the cheap sort of 305 boxes. I think Drew's Gaming Galaxy had a lot more boxes. I think those have been bought up. If I look at over here, like, just 6 boxes, like people bought like whole cases of all these guys actually. Yesterday at 6, and then today was 6 as well. So that's a ton of all these guys boxes actually. Um, and yeah, so that could be just one-off selling, but when I look at this, like, this is all still 305. And on the next page, we start going to, like, 310s over here. So, and then 315. So, like, not as big of a run rate as Fusion Strike, but like, yeah, a ton of recent market activity is going towards, hey, we want to go at least $5 or $10 up, versus Brilliant Stars was more of a stuck space before. And like Astral Radiance, I mentioned, is all-time high 285. Only like 2 bucks sold per day, and one sold yesterday, but yeah, these are all 285 over here, and it can go to 295 after this Moby's Corner. Moby's Corner is probably one of the more one of the more bottlenecks, because they have like close to like a half a case to a full case amount of things. The main thing about Astral Radiance I've noticed is the amount of sellers is quite low. Like, there's only 3 pages. When you compare it to other boxes, like Brilliant Stars over here has 5 pages, and I know some of it's just picture listings, but even picture listings, people aren't listing as much. Fusion has 4. Volume Skies has 5. Um, Chilling Rain, which I haven't gone over yet, but that has 4. So I don't know. There's not a lot of people selling Astral Radiance. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's because the packs are still semi easy to get because there's like Legendary Wars or whatever. But yeah, there's not a lot of people like selling Astral Radiance. So that's kind of like, I kind of wonder about demand for that. Pretty much, because like when I go all the way down, like there's a lot of like price resistance at the current pricing, but after a while it does suddenly jump from this 300 mark to 350. So just keep an eye out for that, because yeah, there's not that many people selling. Only 27 listings compared to like 43, 38 and whatever. So it's like 10 to 20 fewer listings. Silver Tempest over here, a couple sold per day. So out of the like extra demand is mostly Brilliant Stars, but Silver Tempest and Astral Radiance, like there's still enough buying activity that they're starting to like run up in price. So like I see over here, you start getting to 285 after these 3 boxes are bought, and then like 295 down at the bottom. And yeah, versus like Lost Origins making like kind of no movements. There's just too many boxes selling at like below 403, which is kind of the target price. Chilling Rain still is starting to stabilize around 360 because of all these boxes from Geek Bar. And also I started looking at some of the sellers today. So there's this Pocket Boy, AliTC, Geek Bar. I just want to look at some of them, and see how much they're influencing the market. So let's see. This is AliCCG. Seems like they have a bunch of different products, and yeah, you're gonna start seeing them like put like lower price boxes on, like there's like Battle Styles, there's like Silver Tempest, Brilliant Stars. I don't know if this is the absolute lowest, but yeah, it seems like they have a good amount of stuff on the markets. The Pocket Geek Bar only really has that Chilling Rain affecting the markets, and Pocket Bar has a Chilling Rain and some Paradox Rift. So I just, because like the TCG play is influenced by actual like literal single sellers, especially at these parts with these rarer boxes. So sometimes like it kind of tells you if there's like a sale or not, because it's like, hey, it's just this one random seller selling at this price versus like a whole market movement. Just a couple of things. So let's see, Rebel Clash. Even though there's been like lower demand, it went down even more, from like 315 to 309. This is Darkness Ablaze. Nothing really significant with Darkness Ablaze, just like 2 boxes sold. Battle Styles went down from like 196 to 195, and yeah, it's just the LACGG here again. I'm mostly curious, like yeah, like we're starting to reach the point where like yeah, all the boxes are really $200. Battle Styles is still lacking behind, but yeah, these are the three cheapest Sword and Shield boxes that are around the $200 mark. Dark Displays, Vivid Voltage, and Battle Styles. I'm starting to like wonder like which one of these will like be better, or if like I don't think all these will be the same price. Dark Displays is a Charizard set. Like they're all like pretty bad sets, but Dark Charizard set, um, Alt Art set technically with some anti-rant art is kind of like chase worthy, but people hate Battle Styles and Vivid Voltage, which has kind of the Pikachu, I guess, but it's like a semi pull. But there's definitely people who are going to go after these eventually as the rest of Sword and Shield picks up. Okay, so let's go to Scarlet Violet. So Scarlet Violet, yeah, I said there's just more kind of sales. There's also some slowdown activity. As far as like changes, like Paldea Evolved is kind of on sale. It's like you can get a bunch of boxes at about 244 now, and Surging Sparks is definitely on sale. It's on sale for 233, so I'll go over those. Um, so yeah, it's still at like Scarlet Violet is still at pretty much 199.95. And fortunately, there weren't that many boxes sold yesterday, only two, and so there's still like five boxes until it reaches like 200. Um, this is Pokey Bale, which is I think over here one of the lowest sellers of Scarlet Violet base. They're influencing the market by having some Scarlet Violet base and Paradox for cheap. We look at Paradox, they are also here selling this really cheap Paradox Rift. Because Paradox Rift, there's only like two boxes on sale, and Pocky Bale appears again. So these people are selling for like 190 versus like Paradox, which really should be like close to 200. So yeah, there's just some sales for Paradox. Paradox is like a 4 over here. Um, and then like the seller here, Wilson TCG, has some boxes on sale for Paldea Evolved and Obsidian Flames. Like they're just keeping the price down temporarily. And therefore like they're just sort of like don't think Paldea Evolved really is like a 240 or whatever booster box. It really is like 250 still. But you see Wilson TCG is still over here. It has like four boxes, and then there's this Nerdlings which has two boxes, and if that goes back to 250. Obsidian Flames, it's a little more obvious. I think Wilson has like six. And then Ditto Dave has one, and it goes back to 220. So these are just sort of like the separate sales. I mean, Wilson TCG usually has like a case each, so it's a little more impactful. But the other ones usually have like one or two boxes, so they're less impactful. Um, but yeah, Obsidian Flames has had like pretty lower demand at 4, and Paldea has had really low demand at 3. So all these boxes, like it's just kind of slowed down buying. All this, people have slowed down buying them all of a sudden. I'm not sure if it's temporary, but yeah, right now like it just slowed down. Usually that's honestly pretty common. Usually it's not every day that of the week that people are just gonna buy a ton. People have slowdowns. Like it's kind of like natural from life. There's this Aurora cards over here, which has like some uh, cheaper products, not like the cheapest, but it's like at the kind of range of 199. They're also they're responsible for this 6 cases of temporal forces over here, which is really blocking the price from reaching 200 or surpassing 200. So Aurora cards is influencing the market way more for temporal, and with only 5 boxes sold, it's kind of difficult for it to surpass that. Um, Twilight Masquerade has 4 boxes sold yesterday, but yeah, there's a bunch of boxes here. There's like 20 boxes here, all around 229, and so that's blocking Twilight from improving. So you'll see like some of these boxes have like more like 30 boxes or more blocking like Twilight and Temporal versus some older sets. They just have slow demand, but they don't have as many boxes like blocking them from reaching higher price points. And then Stellar Crown is actually looking better, to be honest, in a sense. It's still like 7 boxes sold is a little more normal, just a couple of more boxes. But yeah, when I look at the listings, it's still at like 202. When I go here, it goes to 205, which is higher than normal. And then there weren't that many boxes here, and it starts going back to 207 quickly. So Stellar Crown, would be surprised if it starts moving up again in price. And then Surging Sparks has just these really cheap boxes from Vortex Collectibles at 233. There's 7 of them too, and so you could buy, like, if you bought all these, it's only 81% feedback. Also, like I don't know anything about these sellers aside from like their listing, so I don't know if they're trustworthy or not. But yeah, like after that goes back to 253, which is a more normal price than 260. But yeah, these are really really cheap. Um, and yeah, they have a little bit of surging sparks and trade together. All right, that's it for today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.